Hello guys, Rax Live, and today I want to talk about something that Dan VR mentioned in his recent video, and that is that Deepwoken is basically like the Deepwoken community is basically playing two separate games. And when you really think about it, it's very true. Like, for example, right? For PvE is basically like Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring, you fight your bosses, your mobs, you know what I'm saying? PvE, you're fighting monsters and bosses, all that dumb shit. And then like PvP for Deepwoken, it's basically like NBA 2K if you really think about it, because like NBA 2K, you make your build, and then after that you go to like to the park, and then after that you just compete against other people, just like how PvP is in Chime. Like the park for NBA 2K is basically Chime for Deepwoken. So like PvE is basically Elden Ring, and then PvP is basically like NBA 2K. So it's like, when you really think, it's really two separate games. And I never really noticed that until Dan VR said something. Like, shout out Dan VR, like bro really enlightened my brain. Like I just never really thought of it like that. And the reason why it's like this is because PvE players only do PvE shit, and the PvP players only do the PvP shit. In the past, niggas real life used to just do both, like PvE and PvP, but now it's just PvE doing PvE and PvP doing PvP. And I think that this is a very big issue in Deepwoken, because like, say if like Deepwoken wants to add for example, you remember that time when like Archmage or Raguzer was about to add that little void relic where like, oh, it follows you to the depths and you can just kill that nigga just like that? My nigga, everybody was going insane just because of it, especially them PvE niggas, because they know their build was cooked, all their loot was gonna be taken and all that. Like, shit was looking bad. And what makes this issue even worse is that when it comes to adding stuff like that, you're only satisfying one side of the community. The other side of the community is mad as shit. And when it comes to fixing this problem, I think it's far from that, because I feel like the game is just like way too deep in. Like, I feel like it's just too late to make PvE players want to do PvP stuff. Maybe you can make PvP players do some PvE stuff, but it's like, what's the point? You feel me? Like, my nigga, I just want to do Chime, make my build, I don't want to do nothing else for real. Same with PvE. I just want to fight my bosses, get all the loot I can, and that's it, bro. But maybe there really is a solution to this. I don't really know. I'm not really thinking too hard, just really speaking on what Dan VR said. But honestly, actually, my solution is for the devs just not to give a fuck. Add in anything you want. Add in all the PvP, PvE shit you want, my nigga. Stop giving a fuck what the community says. Because if you're affected by it, my nigga, that's your fault. And let me repeat what Dan VR said in his video. He has said that if you make a build that's only for destroying bosses, mobs, farming Ferryman, Duke, Primadon, my nigga, that is your fault. By the way, he did not say my nigga, just gotta clarify that. But that is your fault. It isn't Raguzer's fault. It isn't Archmage's fault. It isn't anybody's fault, my nigga. It is your fault. Nobody told your dumbass to make a build that's straight PvE. You should have added some PvE and some PvP with it. That's your fault. Now, let's say if you make a build that's only for defending against PvP players, other players. My nigga, that is your fault. You should have added in some PvE as well. So now when you go down to the depths, you get attacked by Maharaga and you get your butt took, my nigga, that's your fault. Like, nobody told you to make a build like that. You feel me? So yeah, I think that's the solution I have for this issue. Make PvE players have to go PvP, and make PvP players have to go PvE. And I feel like the game would be, easier to update, because y'all basically updating two games, bruh. So instead of that, try to make the game one. But also another way I see the game kind of becoming one is adding Conquest, because obviously the PvP players are gonna love it, but the PvE players, their dumbasses, they can't go inside the game, the mode with just 55% DVM. And look, man to man, if you go inside Conquest with a DVM, just straight 55% DVM, I hope your build dies. Like, why would you do that nut shit? Like, you're a dickhead. Why would you do that? So yeah, maybe Conquest could solve this problem. I don't really know. It probably isn't. People are probably still going to do PvE and stick to that. People are still probably going to do PvP. So yeah, I don't really know. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Hope you guys enjoyed.